Good morning and welcome back to Almus Market Mornings. It seems it's deal after deal, and that's been pushing the tech stocks sky high in the US. Amazon's $38 billion deal with OpenAI added fuel to the already extended tech sector rally. It's funny because we have been seeing a series of deals happening recently, and investors are very bullish on the AI narrative, but of course, with the tag that buyers beware. Moving on, US ISM manufacturing PMI indicated some slowdown, falling to 48.7 from 49.1 in September. Morning, JK. Softer manufacturing headline data, but what do the details tell us about the health of the US economy?
Good morning, Swaraj. I think in the absence of indicators from the government side, we are looking at private data, and this number actually showed manufacturing continuing to be in contraction. It dropped by 0.4%, and now if you look at the details. We had only the new orders slightly holding up. Otherwise, it was a drop in the customer inventories, prices actually also dropping. There was new imports and export that was rising, but the employment situation was also somewhat subdued. Overall, the number does not give a very strong picture of the manufacturing, which has actually been in a contraction for quite some time. In between, there are periods of expansion. Month on month changes may be slightly positive, but still, so long as it remains below 50, it's contraction. It's considered as contraction, and this is the eighth consecutive month in which it has been in contraction. So not a great reading. Of course, in the apart from the manufacturing PMI this week, normally we would have had a lot of employment indicators that will be missing. We will only have ADP number tomorrow to look at, and the private jobs report will be closely looked at, no doubt. And we have had we will be having two events to look forward to here. One is the Supreme Court hearing on the Trump tariff that starts tomorrow. That will be even attended by Treasury Secretary Besant as well. So it no, this will not be something that will be decided immediately. That will take some quite number of hearings before they conclude on that. So that could be something which will keep the market on the watch, no doubt. In the meantime, we have the government shutdown has entered the 35th day and start show up some of the difficulties in the US economy, particularly the general population. There has been a cut in the food benefits. And also, it's even started to impact some of the healthcare benefits as well. And this is likely to become a bit, serious, even politically. I think this would at least force both the sides, Democrats and the Republicans, to come actually on some common ground. Otherwise, this can be a bigger hit to the economy because the consumption is definitely going to take some hit. Already inflation is high, and even if the recently some of the statements from few experts indicate that while inflation may be holding steady only at 3%, if you look at the price levels of after inflation being high for such a long, consistently high for such a long period, the price level itself is will be hurting the consumption. So definitely the consumption is on a downward path, and a shutdown is going to impact it even more. Meanwhile, the fiscal, or rather the money market conditions have been tightening, and Fed has injected total of 125 billion in the last 5 days, and this is one of the largest liquidity injection that they have made since the COVID 2020. So I think this is also something that the markets are taking note of. There is some sort of a circumspection about the markets that is starting to develop, and we can see even the tech sector no not really were running away now. It's the momentum of gains is coming down in spite of the big deal that they announced between OpenAI and Amazon. I think the markets are now somewhat subdued. You can see even one of the largest rises recently that we have seen in the global markets is the Korean market. South Korea market has recorded 85% rise in 2025. This is the leading market, in terms of the year-on-year gains, and even that market has today shown signs of, weakening. So I think we are coming to a stage where the year-end as well as the valuations are going to, be a bigger determining factor. The announcements of big deals on the, tech sector is having lesser and lesser impact now. That is how I am seeing it. So that will also translate into some sort of a risk off situation. Maybe that is one reason also why dollar is also in a biddish tone. We've seen euro knocking on 1.15, and dollar yen is not far away from 155. So the risk off situation, and perhaps the dollar being oversold against many currencies for quite some time is now retracing, does not take away the medium term softness in the dollar, which I feel will emerge about 1 to 2% down the line. But till then, I think we could see some more strength in the dollar. Talking of the dollar, of course, India also saw the rupee almost trade at the all-time high, all-time lows against the dollar almost throughout the session yesterday. And the recent uh, that challenges on the external macro front have started to show up in the numbers as well. You had a large drop in the the exports to US in the last few months. That the report says that it's been significantly down. Secondly, the India has also reduced its import of crude oil from Russia by about nearly 29%, and it has been sourcing oil from other regions as well. So the two factors, drop in exports from US and also the increase in rather the decrease in import from Russia, both are the impact of the big tariff that has been imposed, and perhaps this is also a precursor to some sort of a deal that can happen going forward. And because as you reduce your Russian imports, that is likely to give some talking point with in the negotiations. Yeah, as far as the rupee is concerned, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the rupee holds up at these levels for some time, because it is still on the undervalued side, and a gain of up to 1 to 1.5% in the dollar index may not really be accompanied by fresh weakness in the rupee as well. So I think overall, I think rupee will be meandering at these ranges, and also we have the important state election results that will be coming up, and FI numbers this week also has started on a negative note. So kind of mixed picture for the rupee. But we'll be waiting on our hands to see how things shape up going forward and how the dollar index behaves in the coming sessions.
Thank you, JK. And I think the major theme remains that the dollar continues to trade stronger. Euro trading near 1.15, rupee again trading near all-time lows against the dollar. Interestingly, one point you mentioned is the money market conditions being tight in the US. The Fed has infused about $125 billion worth of liquidity. It's the largest since the COVID period. We have the Supreme Court hearing on Trump tariffs, which are starting tomorrow. That will also be an important event. And otherwise, of course, on the AI side, there is a lot of tech deals that's happening, but markets sort of looking stretched at this point, even the best performing markets like South Korea. So that's,
Swaraj,
yeah.
I before you finish, I just want to ask you what is this big deal of 38 billion? Because you closely follow these AI developments, I would like to highlight what is this deal and who benefits actually in this deal and why it is so significant.
So essentially, OpenAI's LLM, the model, is ChatGPT, and Microsoft, they have a close tie with Microsoft, and they use their Azure services, cloud services. Cloud in the sense that there are a lot of computers which are required to train these kind of models and huge amounts of power. So to diversify, even though Microsoft has a vested interest in OpenAI, they are choosing AWS, and that's a big deal because in the market there was a thing that AWS is falling behind when it comes to AI related projects.
Okay.
So and in that front, it's sort of a big deal, and also it's a diversification play because these models they require huge amounts of computing power. I mean, the GPT-4, I think that required almost 50 gigawatt hours of energy. So that's almost equivalent to powering 5,000 American homes for a year.
Okay.
And this is just going to go higher and higher, and how these models evolve. So they need AWS because AWS also has a lot of, we call them GPUs. GPUs, just imagine like computers without monitor. So it's like
Oh,
CPUs,
okay.
a lot of
Mm.
computers are there. And these computers are used to train these LLM models. So that's why it's very significant. And AWS has, of course, the state of the art NVIDIA, the top end chips and all that in those GPUs. So, it's sort of a big deal.
Yeah, I know this is a endless amount of deals that we are seeing almost every day. I don't
Yeah.
know how much value the investors are eventually going to get, and how the markets will. Already there are expert voices rising about what can be the reality versus expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that is something we need to be closely watching
Cautious
out for.
about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think this would be similar to what has happened in the tech sector in the early, I think, tech bubble, which had happened. A lot of companies coming up, but then
Yeah.
once the bubble pops, everybody consolidates, and we have got a few large companies left.
Okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking that is going to turn out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all
Thank you
for
for
listening.
explaining that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks
Yes.
all. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank
listening.
you.